guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for another episode of Blood on the Reik. Yes, we are down a sheepdog, but that's okay. We'll figure it out without him. I'm sure he's with someone's wife. Yeah, either way. But those of us who are here today, we have the wonderful Cherry Bonbon back. We have Simon, our wonderful GM, and we have Justin from the Mage Hand of Vecna. Or the tweeter of Vecna, right? That's what.
Yeah, I'm the tweeter of Vecna. I work with Mage Hand Press.
There's so many of you that are different parts of Vecna's hands and tweeters. Justin from Mage Hand Press. That being said, guys, if you want to interact with this show, please check out the donation section down below for all the things you can interact with here, in spite of Sheepdog not being here. And with that, we'll turn things over to Simon to take us into the wonderful world, the wonderful, happy, fun world of Warhammer Fantasy RPG.
It is. Rock Falls. You're dead.
Yeah, right.
No, but before we jump back into the action, the one person who was supposed to do the recap today decided to not show up.
That's why he's not here, I think.
That's probably why he didn't do his own work.
That's how I get out of it.
He's actually lurking in chat, waiting for us to get done with the recap, and then he's going to join the Zoom call and break all of the cameras.
Yeah. So why don't both? Oh, sure. Justin, go right ahead. What happened last time?
All right. So I tried real hard to find where all of these zombies are coming from, and I found out that they're coming from the mayor's castle, and that whatever the source of these zombies is, I've seen no one with enough Darwind around them to have possibly been the one that's done this. So they've just been hiding in the castle. Or the object has been hiding in the castle. I don't know. But what I do know is that someone used some mummy sand to bring back, well, we only found one, but presumably there's a whole bunch more of some super skeleton zombies, and they're murdering priestesses and sending messages with metaphors and things. So now we're trying to stop that and work with the guard. And I tried to steal a spell book. Acquire a spell book from a dead white mage, but Simon just thought ahead of me and said that it wasn't there. And now we're here in the morgue of the guard captain's office.
I will point out for Cherry,
Yes.
the priestess that was murdered was Gertrude.
Yep.
No!
Gruesomely at that. It seems that whoever did it wanted to leave a message behind. Her eyes were plucked out, her hands severed, and her throat slit.
God damn it, Gertrude. You should have stayed with us.
Right? Oh, old Gertie. Doing her own thing.
Gertie McGurch.
And I forgot to mention that murder seemed to be tied to previous murders related to a case from some rich family's cousin getting killed. And the white mage was sent to help this family out by our nemesis, the Graf.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, actually, every murder so far, aside from Gertrude, which you have yet to piece that puzzle out, but the barrister, the judge, and the white wizard, they all participated in that that court case, and it's about basically so you remember, Cherry, when you came to Reik, there were farms outside of town. People had been turned into zombies. Mm-hmm. That famous, rich cousin was staying over at a coaching inn around those farms. And the family was suing Reik because they could not react in time and thus could not get the gates open for him to come in. And he died. So he died because of, how the city operates, if you will. And that's why they had this, they brought the city to trial and everything. But then, the judge presiding over that case was murdered. He's lying in front of you in the morgue. Beside him, the body of the barrister, and flanking the barrister is the body of that white wizard.
Simon, did you want to go into detail with what Sherry did in her downtime before we dive into some conspiracy?
A wee bit. Partly because, well, we've been going along and pretending that this is part of what you wanted to do. But what else? What did you want to do during your 2 weeks?
I definitely would be making contact with anybody I would know in town, see their perspectives on what's going on and what they would do to fix it, or if they think there's anything that can be done. And then, just seeing who needs anything done, which clearly I got into.
That was a thing.
A little bit. And, just trying to keep my my reputation about me despite seeing everything that's happening around.
All right. Then a piece of information you would have gleaned from your activities is that the criminal underworld of Reik is very interested in getting the situation resolved, because with the gates being fixed, well, not fixed, but the gates being shut, there's a lot of guard presence in the streets. It's not that they're chasing after any criminals, but it makes a lot of people uneasy. Mm-hmm. And now you have this judge that was murdered. And that raised a lot of questions because, well, partly the judge was, a prominent figure in, not a priest of arena or anything. It was just a legal judge, not backed by any church or what have you. Mm-hmm. But he did preside over many a hanging, many an execution of members of the criminal underworld. So, of course, revenge was the first motivation that was attributed to the murder, and thus a lot of the less cunning members of the underworld were imprisoned and are still rotting away in a jail cell. Yeah, so the underworld is not saying that crime is at a standstill, but almost. Everyone's on edge, everyone's afraid of doing anything. And yet you found this one person, an old man around 80 years old, cloaked in black, gave you this pouch and said that it needs to get the schwach off. Yeah, let me, it's a mouthful. I'll put it in the Roll20 chat.
I see it, yeah.
Okay, the schwach or schwashoff. Anyway. Bring it there to his friend. You will recognize him by his seals and his medals pinned to his chest.
Okay.
He says, "Believe you me, there's only one person with seals and medals in Schwachoff, so you can't mistake him for anybody else."
Gotcha.
For flavor and fun times, I think you may also learn that there is somebody who you may be acutely involved in. There's a man wearing armor, wandering around town, not only calling himself a zombie hunter, but also calling himself a river warden, which doesn't exist. And you also know that 3 people accosted us calling themselves river wardens, and now there is someone in town referring to himself officially as a river warden.
Yep.
I have recently taken the criminal talent and have decided that I am a river warden, and I'm letting everyone know about it. And also a zombie
undead hunter.
But we did more or less get officiated as undead hunters.
Yes.
That's the thing now.
You've been sort of deputized.
Yes.
River warden, Jesus.
God, I was trying to keep a low profile. Excuse me, I'm an undead.
I literally. Oh, that's true. I did cause panic in the streets. Oh, that's what you missed. You missed that yesterday. So we found. Oh shit! I forgot about that. Justin.
You found the dead
So
body.
we found a dead body, and rather
Of
than
course.
just discreetly bring it back, right? We found like one of the zombies in town. We
God.
made a makeshift stretcher, and then I ran it through town, forcing Gale to hold the other end of the stretcher, shouting, "Make way! I'm a zombie hunter. I'm an undead hunter. I need to get back to the city watch." So now there's a panic in the streets. I fucking forgot.
Of course.
Oh man. Oh.
Maybe this is why Clemency is laid low an extra little bit longer. Oh, I don't know those assholes.
This is
You're
why
not with
this is
them.
why you don't give a lowly peasant fisherman any sort of authority at all.
Oh my god. Yep.
Yes, but now you're gonna have to learn the other side of that, and it's
I'm
called
sure.
responsibility.
I'm sure.
That being said, let's go back to the morgue,
Sure.
and we'll, for brevity's sake, we'll assume that Clementia is with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That she followed you along this morning when you were deputized as like at the rest of the group, since you are one of the only people to have seen Sister Gertrude before her death.
Simon, remind me again,
Yes.
what was wrong with the judge's death? Each one had a weird thing. What was the judge's thing?
His tongue was ripped out.
Tongue was ripped out. Okay. And missing. Was it missing or just ripped out?
Missing. We don't know where it went.
Both.
Probably in a gutter somewhere.
Yeah, so to catch you up, Cherry, there's a conspiracy. There was, as we said, the man was killed, and then a bunch of people that were involved in his case have been dead. And so far, we have a judge whose tongue was ripped out. We have a barrister, so like the lawyer, basically. All 10 of his fingers were broken, and a chunk of his neck was bitten out. The white mage, his bottom jaw was missing, and his spellbook is missing. And the priestess, Gertrude, which is a priestess of law, was missing a hand and her eyes. As in, justice is blind, and the hand that holds the scales of justice
Right.
was chopped
Yes.
off. Given that Uber's Reich has the same justice analogies that America does.
Verena,
Yeah.
the god, is seen as, yep.
Yeah. So we believe, I think Galarian believes that there is a conspiracy, and Andres doesn't have enough brain cells to make that thought.
He didn't have enough brain cells to comprehend the thought when I shared it with him.
Right.
Sounds about right.
I believe you're all caught up. And we're just overlooking the corpse now of the white mage?
White mage, barrister, and judge.
Okay.
The barrister is the one that stands out because it doesn't seem like the wounds were made to make a point. He was stabbed in the back.
Is anyone down here with us, or is it just the four of us?
Schultz brought you down. He showed you the stairs, but it's only the four of you. Gangolf is gonna, I don't know, keep watch.
Sure.
Gangolf away.
Okay.
I'm just happy I'm not going to get thrown under a cart this episode.
Yeah, we know.
I think it'll be the first one.
So now I don't want to be an alarming here, but we have 4 dead people and at least one zombie that we found inside the city. And you had said that the mummy dust could have been used to summon even more zombies inside the city. So if we only have one, then where are the rest of them?
Who knows? I know that there's a huge outpouring of dar wind from the mayor's castle, like I said earlier. But
I don't care about the wind in which direction it's going or where it's blowing from.
it's
more
what
concerned
brings
about
the
what
zombies back.
What?
Yeah, it's not just. Yeah, go ahead.
Is this magic mumbo jumbo that I don't understand?
Yes, dark, scary magic is coming from the palace.
Oh, like a stinky fish.
Or a wind, yes.
Right,
Yes.
and when a fish is stinky,
When it's rotten, yes,
go
you
to
find
see how it is rotting. Or
I got it. So we break into what did you say, the mayor's manor house? Whose house? We break into?
The mayor's castle, yes.
We break into the mayor's castle and we find out where the stinky fish is coming from, and then we take it out.
Also, maybe we should talk to the family that all of these dead people are surrounding.
Yes, but if the source of the evil stinky wind is that the mayor's house, then why don't we just take out the mayor and his house?
One, it's a castle filled with soldiers, guards, and who knows what other manner of things. And two, the family that sued, they are rich, which means maybe they have some pull with the mayor's castle. Maybe they can get us in.
Oh, you took that in a different direction than I expected.
Oh, what did you think I was going to say?
They were going to give us gold for it. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I would think so. If we're gonna help solve the case of whatever my cousin was murdered or whoever it was, what have you, I believe they should probably compensate us. Wouldn't you agree, couldn't you?
If that's what you want to pursue, yes, sure.
I like being paid, but I also like not dying to zombie things. So, both.
I still don't think we get anything out of helping you with the zombie thing because I don't want to be a statue, but that's not really incentive. It's a little bit incentive because I don't want to be turned into a statue of a frog, but at the end of the day I don't actually get anything out of it, and I'm not sure what you get out of it, but I know that I would like gold out of it. I have gold for the first time in my life, and I'd like to keep it, and if I could possibly, I'd like to get more. That would be great.
And I think that would be the perfect moment to ask what would be your party goal for tonight.
The party goal we didn't actually solve last week, which was find the source of the plague, right?
True.
We just know that there is a potential source coming out of the mayor's house. We don't actually know what the source is.
So what would be your personal goal for tonight?
My personal goal is to seek justice for Sexy Priestess.
All right. No God.
For Sexy Priest. Oh, dear.
A noble endeavor, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's get in the castle.
Yeah. I kind of, I'm about that life. Same goal.
Listen, we saved the priestess one time from zombies, and then we brought her all the way over here only to have her get killed by zombies. It's ridiculous. Plus, she was very pretty.
Does this look like something zombies did?
Oh no, we found the zombie outside of a window.
A skeleton more than a zombie.
Yes.
I pointed at the corpse that we wheeled in here.
When there was someone climbed in from the outside, and in the windowsill there was claw marks, and we matched them up more or less to the undead critter outside.
Hey, rip.
Yeah. And I believe, as I said, the zombie dust, mummy powder, whatever it is, whatever your mum's made out of, they had it. He said it could summon several zombies, and we only found one, and if there's only one here, allegedly, right? There's only one here, so there could be a number more. What that number is, I don't know.
A legion.
An entire legion of zombies. At least half a score, if I had to say.
Let's say that it's between 2 and 20.
Fair enough.
About a half score, then, in that case. Or less. But more than one.
This is good. This is great. Well, I'm glad I don't feel like shit anymore. We've got a lot to do.
Yeah.
What about this guy? He doesn't look like he was fucked with as much.
Oh, this one? This is the barrister? Oh, all of his fingers are broken.
Yeah, fingers broken and stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
Well, depending on which happened and what order, if he was stabbed in the back, that means that his attacker might have, known him.
I think Gale said something about a pattern, but I didn't have time for puzzles, so here we are.
So, out of character, the barrister was the first victim, correct?
Barrister was the first victim.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to be sure before I started getting into something then was like completely wrong. Well, I have a theory. The barrister he was the first victim, and
Okay.
if he's the first victim, maybe he was the only victim that was killed by a living attacker.
Yeah, I mean, most of these critters just they come right the fuck at you. This is from the back. That's a little,
Well, the skeletons are more like puppets. They're little, yeah. Just imagine a zombie, but now it's controlled by a malicious, intelligent person.
All right.
That's
Okay. Yeah, that I don't know, but yeah, maybe if we're gonna investigate anything, we should go start the beginning.
yeah. So to the family.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And is there anything?
Schultz can give you the address.
Okay. Is there anything more to learn from these bodies from studying them, or? Because I assume we didn't just stand over them and talk. I assume we were examining them.
Then in that case, yeah. It depends on which skill you would like to use. Depends on what exactly you're seeking. Like, what information are you seeking to learn? If I'll give you an example. If you want to know what type of blade would have caused would have stabbed the barrister, then it would be like a melee check, like an attack roll with the type of weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you wanted to know what type of blade, but you use like melee flail, well, you'll know that it's not a flail. That being said, the most important or pertinent information, you could probably get it with medicine, probably first aid, but it would be a tiny bit more difficult. You could also just try with perception.
Mm-hmm.
Just, give the corpses a good once over and verify what information you might have missed. And even magic could be useful.
Yep, magic. That's what I'm doing.
Hi,
Simon,
Anders.
I'll let you take that one.
Yep.
Which corpse were you trying to check, and what information were you trying to glean?
Part of me just wants to use a fate thing, but like also I feel like this is too funny to not. I was looking over all of the corpses in general. I think I did this the other day too. But I'm looking over the corpses because I'm newly trained, almost a doctor, basically, in the ability to heal and diagnose diseases and health issues, and most importantly, suture holes without fishing wire. So I think I'm just taking a most generic doctoral look over these corpses.
Right.
Poking where necessary, opening other places.
Well, a thing that you've learned, remember when we talked about it last week, is that they didn't necessarily teach you a lot about surgery.
The surgery part, yeah.
But they did. The sisters, the Shallians, tried as much as possible to introduce you to a lot of different diseases and how to recognize them. And you are fairly certain that the body of the white wizard, whose jaw is missing, he actually died from an acute case of syphilis.
Oh, well, that's a different thing entirely, I think, gentlemen and lady. I don't want you to be alarmed, Miss Clementia. It's not for the faint of whatever.
I mean, I lived through seeing you. I should be fine.
Well, this is a different thing entirely. I had clean pants on, and...
You did not have pants on at all. Excuse me?
Well, let's be honest. It was a treat for everyone. This time, it's not. In fact, I think... and he, I assume there's some kind of towel here.
Yeah, sure.
He, lifts up the towel. I think the man died of syphilis. It wasn't, in fact, it might be unrelated entirely. If you look here, there's a large pustule right here on the top of the situation.
Please,
I'm not going to touch it. He's already dead. There's no reason to give him the old So I'm going to leave that right where it is. But I believe that's what killed him. This could be unrelated entirely. I don't know if that affects your conspiracy theory there, Gail. But
I believe that you believe that's what happened.
yes, clearly, all signs that I can see, apart from the missing tongue and all that.
Oh no! The missing tongue is when
you said
syphilis gets to a certain point, necrosis sets in some of your extremities. And actually, now that you think about it, it sets in the extremities, the tongue, the fingers, the jaw is sort of like the extremity of your face. It all makes sense. They all died of syphilis.
See, Gail, if you look really closely, I think the thing with syphilis is that it actually affects all of the digits or appendages that interact with the infected area. If you catch what I'm saying. So this one has a situation in the downtown area, and he has a little situation over here. This one over here has a situation with all 10 little fingers. He was very active as well over here.
All right, and I just kind of pat you on the head.
Yeah.
I studied for an entire 2 weeks. Listen.
I know you learned so much.
Thank you.
I hate it when I get stabbed in the back from syphilis. She just walks away.
Listen, now if someone gave you syphilis, would you not stab him in the back, or would you just let it happen?
She just starts walking towards the door. She doesn't have anything else to say.
I used magic. I got a success.
Barely.
It's success.
Yep. The White Wizard. There are traces of black magic on him. Dar.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually an enchantment put on the body, and it's slowly going away, dispelling itself.
What's the enchantment?
You're not proficient enough with Dar to know exactly.
Okay, so it is a Dar enchantment that's...
Yeah, it's a Dar spell. It's a black magic spell, a necromancy spell, I should say. But it does bear a certain resemblance to the same patterns of wind that you saw around the bedroom of Gertrude.
Is there any way for me to dispel it?
Do you have Dispel as a spell?
Is it a spell?
Yeah, it's a spell.
Oh, I don't have any spells yet.
No, Dispel is a lesser magic spell. It doesn't belong to any school.
Yeah, but I only have cantrips until I get Arcane Lore.
Then you don't have it, but you do know that this enchantment is going to fade away in about 2 to 4 hours.
And so this enchantment is currently doing something in the body and will no longer be doing something in the body in 2 to 4 hours.
Exactly.
But the body, as far as I can tell, looks normal right now.
Except for the syphilis.
Make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Mr. Galarian. During that time, Anders has finally figured out the whole case. The only other victim was Gertrude. So these 3 gentlemen contracted syphilis from Gertrude and killed her in revenge from beyond the grave.
Perfect sense to me.
Critical success, 5 success levels, no big deal.
It's a trap.
The body's a trap?
The pattern of the wind slowly dissolving is going inside the body. This is a timed animate dead, if you will. At some point in 2 to 4 hours, the body will get up and will perform whatever action the spell is asked it to perform.
Excuse me, I need to perform a I need to perform an autopsy on this body.
I don't think you're qualified to perform an autopsy. It's just,
I'm more qualified than you.
That's not true. I studied at the temple. That's not even...
And I studied magic, and this is a magic-related matter.
It's a magical autopsy. In that case, heck away at it. I don't know what even that means.
And I proceed to cut open the body and chop off the arms and legs.
It is a gruesome...
Very
task.
gruesome.
But lo, this white wizard is now in pieces, neatly arranged on a table.
I don't presume to know a whole lot about your windy magic and all that business, but what part does the magic come out? You seem to have cut the man from nape to chops, and then you severed his arms. But I haven't seen you whisper in a single incantation, and you just sort of chopped him up to pieces.
There was an enchantment on the body, and there is no longer an enchantment on the body.
Because then you chopped it up to pieces.
Yes.
That's a terrifying kind of magic if you have there.
Don't
ever enchant me, please, if you could.
It's the bad magic was enchanted on him. I don't use that.
I don't think I want any of it on me.
You might want the good stuff at some point.
Just rub some dirt on it if I need it.
Did you actually go to the medical place
for 2 whole weeks? And there was some medical teaching, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, because that's something we forgot to mention to Clementia.
There's so many braids in his hair.
Yeah, his hair is braided with a bunch of ribbons.
There was a lot of hands-on training, if you know what I'm saying.
No,
he pulls the ponytail out now, the greasy ponytail.
No.
Spell is over. Spell is gone.
Okay, his head doesn't just happen to animate or something like that, does it?
Nope.
Okay.
Apparently the spell required a full corpse.
Mm-hmm. Works for me.
It's a way to cast dispel magic.
You know, sometimes you got to get creative with the bone saw.
That's what I said inside of the old temple there, but that was a different meaning entirely. I didn't cut anyone to pieces. That's terrifying, if I can say so. Should we chop anyone else into pieces, or are we just going to carry on with the rest of the day?
That was the only body that was enchanted, correct?
Yep.
This is the only one. The magic's gone now.
Oh, great. Then in that case, if we're not going to be chopping anyone up into pieces, we should probably...
To the family, yes.
Move on to the family, yes.
I'm ready, please.
It's been a hard day. It's only like 12:30.
That's it. It's like midday at the moment.
This has been a rough day.
There's been a lot of action. A lot of it. Since you woke up this morning. But let's move along to the estate of this rich family. The estate doesn't they're not rich enough to bear coat of arms. So they're just rich, probably artisans, burghers, but they are not part of like the nobility at all.
Are they the Burger Kings?
You die.
Inexplicably.
Inexplicably.
Was walking and fell over.
Die of syphilis.
See, that's what happens. See, he was all in the body and they had syphilis for sure. Now
He got stabbed in the back by syphilis.
Now, if we watch for long enough, his hands are going to fall off because he was touching with his bits.
I didn't touch him.
His ears falls off. Now try to fit your theory in that.
I mean, I stuck his whole head inside the cavity to see where the evil winds were coming from, and he heard it whoosh right by, and it was just a whoosh of syphilis. Cut him right in the ears. Don't challenge me, Simon, to nonsense. Do a nonsense off. I'll win that fight every single time, my lad.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're in my house now, bucko.
Anders is actually Mike's true form.
Oh, no.
There are no coat of arms. There are no guards. There is a wrought iron fence. with a mean molosser dog sleeping away. Doesn't. Anyway, there's a tiny sign that says, beware of the dog, but the dog is sleeping. The gate is closed, though. And this estate is what you would call nowadays like a triplex. Like
Okay.
3. So it's like 3 floors. It would be enough to fit, 6 different families, but it's just this one family that occupies the whole building. So it's pretty like squarish, nothing too fancy, except that the walls are all made of stone and timber. And it looks sturdy enough, but nothing ostentatious. Vines growing up on one side of the building. That's it. There's no doorbell because it doesn't exist, but with the gate closed, unless you jump over it or you find a way to attract the attention of whoever's inside, you're kind of left to yourselves.
What's the play here?
Well, we need to get somebody's attention, or that thing might nip at our ass. Just points to the dog.
Right.
I don't see a bell or something. Komenchu is gonna start looking around to see if there's anything she could pick up and hit to make noise.
Oh yeah, you can just like dig up one of the cobblestones from the pavement.
Okay, wouldn't there be like a sign or something inside or not far that I could hit that would make a decent noise?
You could throw it on the door.
Okay.
Like, as long as you're not trying to break a window with it, I'm not going to ask you to roll.
Oh yeah, no.
You can just lob the stone, and it hits the door, and the dog just wakes up, looks around, looks at you, and lets out this, and it falls to its side and yawns.
Oh, look at this little fella. He's just taking a nap.
The door opens, and a maid comes out.
Hi
Says,
there, miss.
the family's in mourning. We'd like no visitors, please.
They might want to meet with us.
Yeah, we're trying to help with the we're finding out what happened, and we're trying to help.
We're here in a car to the dead man.
She pushes Anders back and
What?
like, stop it.
You're all dancing around it.
You behave.
Just
These people are very classy and rich. I need you to behave.
I'm a river warden.
That is not a real thing.
I am a man of law.
There's a youth that comes out, probably 14 or 15 years old, young man, young fellow, dressed like a squire. And he approaches the gate. He whispered something to the maid before moving closer to the gate. And once he gets to it, he looks at you and asks, my family would like to be left alone, if you will. If you're here to make fun of us or anything, I would ask you to leave.
Oh, no. We're not here to make fun of anything. We're genuinely concerned about what happened and trying to help. If your whole family doesn't want to talk, could we talk to you?
She looks back at the door, back at you, and says, I suppose I can spare a few moments.
Should I show him the letter?
What letter?
This important letter here that says, hold on, let me get it out of my shirt.
Are you talking about the letter that I have from the Graf?
No, this letter here that says we are official zombie hunters from what's his name, Schultz.
Damn, that letter.
This letter. We're here as official zombie hunters to help solve the untimely death of your mate or whatever.
Family member.
Cousin. Your cousin. I'm sorry. There's so many people that are dead, it's hard to keep track of which one was which. Anyway, see, this is official.
I didn't know the Empire had an order of undead hunters. I've heard of the witch hunters.
Well, now you do.
You look like common thugs.
That's the thing.
Hey.
The zombies don't know what you are if you don't know. You don't you're coming out looking all shiny like a knight or something. They attack.
Hey, I bought nice new robes. I paid gold for them, Simon. I don't look like a thug anymore.
Clementia would look shady but well dressed, but still kind of shady.
If you're the biggest shiny,
he's in the gold status like tier.
Yeah.
So
if you're in the shiniest target on the battlefield, you're the first one to be attacked.
I mean, they're just
you would know more than I how the undead think.
Thank you.
Anyways, we were investigating the undead plague on this city, and ultimately, coincidences kept drawing us to your family. Mysterious deaths, the court case, some sort of animosity with the mayor's office.
Well, if you think that we did it...
No. If anything, it's someone who has something against you.
Well, there might be, but nobody's been wanting to listen to what we had to say about it.
Well, that's why we're here. We're not here to make fun of your situation. We're here to fix it, make it better, stop whatever the hell is happening.
I'm Kurt, by the way. Kurt Johansson. And he opens the gate.
Clementia, nice to meet you. This is my associate Anders, and she gestures to the wizard.
Galerian.
Yeah, yes. Sorry, it's been a long day. There's been, we went to
It's okay.
see your family. That Clementia just kind of stops. She's stuttering all over the place.
He says, I understand most of the common folk never speak to people of our stature. Not stature. That's me, the DM, not having the right word.
Status?
Status. Yeah, status. And he says, don't worry about that. Look, I'll be brief. I have to go back inside. The whole warning thing. My mother is going to inquire as to where I am. We're not supposed to leave the house. Family traditions and all that.
Gotcha.
Someone gave the order to close the doors. My cousin, he looks around and says, my cousin worked as a spy for the Church of Sigmar.
Oh.
That points us in a direction.
He was touring the countryside, trying to find, rooting out heresies. And him and his band were, well, it's not his band, but he was part of a band. And they were hitting up this region. He had written to us and would have had a few days, not, a few days where he could get away from his work, as it were, and come visit. It's just, I'm sorry. Give me a moment. And you see, it's kind of hard for him to try to talk about his cousin. Go ahead, Galerian.
Sorry for being forward, but was your cousin a friend of the Graf?
At the mention of the Graf, his eyes go wide. And Kurt says, actually, no, the Graf was the person they were investigating. Well, according to the letter he sent about a moon past.
I pull out the letter that the White Wizard had on him. I found this when performing an autopsy. Why would the Graf send a White Wizard to investigate the death of your cousin if that's who he's investigating?
I don't know. But wait, how? Show me that letter.
I show him the letter.
He takes it without asking, and he reads over, and he's like, "That's not right."
What's not right?
Well, as one of the most influential family in Ubersreich, we've hosted Graf von Brunner a few times when he was over in Ubersreich. That was years ago. Mm-hmm. But we have a thank you note from him that we received. I was just a child at the time, but I don't want to go back inside because I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to come back out. But you have to believe me, this, and he points to your letter, is not the Graf's handwriting.
Would you mind if I slipped in to compare?
It might be hard. The letter is framed above the mantle in the living area where we're all gathered. I wouldn't like to attract trouble, especially since you're the only ones that actually believe me. But you have my word as a squire of the Knights of the Blazing Sun.
I believe you, and I ask that when your family is done gathering, that you deliver. If you could deliver this letter that you have, this thank you letter that you have in the mantle, to where we're staying, so that we can use it as evidence, I would appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can. I'll see if I can get it to you by tomorrow night.
I appreciate it.
Is there anything?
What is it that who you believed that someone hated your family? I mean, I know clearly I'm picking up something about the Graf is not copacetic, but is there anyone that would be living in the mayor's castle that would feel the same way?
Oh, well, and he gives you the full. I have the last name at the tip of my tongue, but not the first name. Bernward Hour. Again, copying it in Roll20. Bernward Hour. Mr. Hour is Lord von Brunner's personal advisor. He was named as an ambassador to Ubersreich in the Graf's absence. He's the one that's been trying to get the city to integrate with the Graf's territories.
I see. I see. Is there any way that you would be able to give us access to is there any way that you could use your status to get us in to the mayor's castle?
We tried. No one's gonna open the doors for us. In fact, even the guards, they don't even acknowledge our presence. We've requested audiences, we've sent messengers, We've even banged. Well, my mother went and banged on the door a few times. No one answers.
I see. Well, I'll see what we can turn up. Thank you for your time. Clementia, did you have any other questions?
No, just, we're staying at I don't remember what hotel we're at, but if you can bring that
one place.
That one place with the stuff and the things and the hot lady, come by if you can.
I have a question or two, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I hold my breath.
Yeah, so does Clementia.
What is it? It's not even. It's not. Okay, listen. I can read a letter or two, and I've read a book at least once, or at least it was read to me. There's a book called War and Order, and in that there is at least 2 barristers in a courtroom with 1 judge. Normally, yes.
Yes.
Accurate, right? Okay, so if one of the barristers is dead, where's the other one? Do you know his name?
Oh, the one representing the city?
Yes, that one.
That would be Mr. Hour.
Well, shite. Okay. Well, that knocks out 2 birds with 1 stone, I guess, if it will. Now, the case, right? That's what it's called. Anyway,
sure.
Your cousin was outside of the gate and expired, and then respired back into a, and that's what you're trying to. Yes.
The official statement is that he was staying at the inn, and he died with everybody else
outside of the.
Outside of.
Right.
Okay, and
my theory.
Okay.
Is that he was murdered inside the walls of Ubersreik.
Well, that's very different than what we've heard then.
And thrown
Your cousin
out.
And then thrown out.
My sister swears by Sigmar that she saw him. Huh?
It's a hell of a swear by Sigmar. I've heard.
I'm finished.
The main god of the empire.
Yeah.
But she just making sure. She swears that she saw our cousin the day before he died. He was shifty looking. He went to she saw him go into the old town. It was probably just another traveler, and the black cloak matched the same one that our cousin normally wears for his work. But if she's right, then he was killed here and thrown out to be reanimated with the rabble.
Look how desperate your enemies are to bury this. Your lawyer killed the judge that presided over the trial, killed some white mage that was sent by someone posing as the Graf, killed. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that he was assassinated in the city and then thrown out to look like an accident.
Now, I don't want to go too far down any rabbit holes or other holes for that matter, but I do have one more question.
Yes.
Is it okay? If you were on you and your family were is it called suing? I don't know. You were at court trying to prove that.
Officially, we went to court to try to have reparation. When someone dies in, it's an old Teutonian tradition called the Weregild.
Right, and it was money, right? Is what you were after?
Well, officially, that's what we had to say we were after.
Okay, what were you really after, and how much of it was? How many of it? How much gold was it?
She should say Anders a look.
Galarian's burying his face in his hand.
Listen, if it's enough money, it's enough money to kill for, and that's what people are doing. They're killing for left and right.
Right, but he just said it wasn't.
But if it's not money, then it could be something else, which is also very important. So
At any rate, sir, that you don't have to answer, but if you can, it might
be
help.
helpful.
It's okay. It's been made public. We were suing for 500 gold crowns.
I'd murder half a score of people for 500. Are you shitting me? What's 500? Holy
He grabs Anders and starts to pull him away. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. And
100 gold
our
coins!
condolences. She's
I
just
could buy a
pushing him
town!
away from the castle.
Gold crowns! Holy shit!
As
Did you guys hear
Clementia
that?
drags Anders away,
Fuck me.
I'll wait just a little bit longer, just in case he has something extra to say after Anders has been pulled away. If not, then I'll catch up to the group.
Yeah, he just adds. But the real reason why, well, at least part of our family, those who were aware of what was going on, we thought that perhaps during the trial, the murderer would show up, witness the ravages he caused, try to ensure that, to silence any cut any loose ends. But it just,
Well, I can
so
say
sudden.
I can say for certain that something silenced people.
Yeah, they succeeded.
This is going to sound like superstitious nonsense and with a dash of paranoia. Before you go to sleep every night, until this is all resolved, pour salt on every entrance, every door, every window in this house. Make sure every window and door is locked. Something foul is happening. Too many
That
lives
is not
have been
paranoia.
lost.
That's just prudence. But yes, I'll make sure. Is there
Salt
any
important?
because of what is it? Magic?
Unfortunately.
Of course, it's always magic.
Not all magic is bad. Just this kind.
All right then. I'll take you at your word. You are, after all, an official undead hunter. You must know what you're doing.
Something like that. I hope your day gets better.
As
And
well.
I catch up with the group.
You catch up with the group, who also happens to catch up with with Gangolf.
Are you shitting me? 500 gold crowns. That's the most I've ever... I thought it was 25 was a lot. You're telling me that for a dead man they get 500 gold crowns? I'd kill 100 people. Do I get 10 crowns per person? Could I just... Is there someone I can kill for 500 crowns?
Anders,
Clementia, you do the
it's just-
crimes. What can I get...
Excuse me. I'm
sorry, you haven't
to
been-
make sure nobody's
You
listening.
haven't been quite quiet about it. Is there someone I can kill for 500 crowns? Are you kidding me? I'm with the
Two
wrong...
guards have stopped patrolling and are staring at you.
Sorry,
Andrew,
I'm talking about
Stop it.
undead. Official undead hunter business. How many undead can I kill for a right amount of crowns? I'm a river warden. Excuse me, I'll have you know.
He's had a bit to drink. I'm sorry. She kind of tries to wave them on a little bit.
Fish pants,
Yeah,
eh?
they...
It's a family brew.
At least it's not the pants brew again.
We need to get into the mayor's castle.
Let's go a little further away from these guys and talk about it.
You said the guards already moved away, right?
Yeah, they moved away. You can easily find a place where you can talk quietly.
Yeah.
Gangolf, my friend, I don't know if you heard it, but they ordered 500 gold for a body.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying complete attention for the last, hour or so.
That's okay. The best part of it, the most important part of it is that the man, their cousin, died outside and turned into a zombie, and they
Whose
said
cousin?
the family. We discussed it last time.
Which family?
Remember all the people that are dead? The lawyer.
Yeah.
Right.
Their
they
own
were,
family?
No. They were working on a case at court for the man outside the gate who was killed and turned into a zombie, and the family tried to attack the city for 500 gold crowns.
They tried to attack the city?
In court. It's a different kind of attack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they said, hey, my cousin died outside the city. Give me 500 gold crowns. Are you kidding me? I had my nan die and I didn't get shite for it. She just died.
Well, maybe she should have died outside the city then.
Cats ate her face, and I got nothing for that either.
Look,
if a zombie eats your face, you get 500 gold crowns.
That's the power of status.
Yes. And if you keep rambling like that in front of guards and saying shit you aren't supposed to, there's not going to be much more status for you.
Where's the status to begin with? I don't even... Anyway, what... Galarian, I think you had something to say about something, right?
We need to get into the mayor's office, clearly. Like, everything ties back to the mayor's castle and that family.
I could try to ask around if there's anybody that knows how to get in, but it sounds like if they couldn't get in, she kind of lowers her voice a little. We're going to have to break in.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. They tried to use status. What if we try and use our anonymity, or what anonymity we have left glares at Anders.
Yeah. This is gonna take subtlety, Anders. Can you do that, or do I?
Of course, I'm incredibly subtle.
I imagine that they have a servant's entrance, and I imagine that people like the mayor probably don't want riffraff servants to be living in the castle. I suppose maybe we could pose as servants and slip in that entrance.
I'm not going to lie. I had the same thing that Gengar had. I sort of glazed over for a minute there with the whole that number crossed my head. Did the Hour Man? Did he live inside the castle as well?
Yes.
What about his entire family?
I don't know. He's an advisor to a ruler of a city that's hundreds of miles away.
Right. Okay, that's true. Yes.
Or maybe not hundreds of miles.
No. That's okay. But one thing that you might have forgotten from the first game.
Is it the Graf is currently living here?
Yeah, the Graf. What everyone in Sledlong was thinking, and even around, is that the Graf for the past couple of months has been living in Ubersreik and has thus left control of his territory to whatever group of guards or authority or blah blah blah, and he kept issuing these insane laws that you all remember, but theoretically the Graf is supposed to be in Ubersreik.
Shite! I have an idea. Shit. Sorry, I have an idea. Listen, when you're on a boat all by yourself, you just start talking out loud. I'm not used to other people being around. I just had an apostrophe. It's the rich man, the one that's dead, the cousin. The man said that the lady saw them. Jesus Christ! They said that he was seen inside the city, in Old Town. Yeah.
A day ago. Yeah.
Right.
Or a day before he.
Right. Old Town. If I'm not mistaken, according to my notes, it's shite. It's not a good part of town.
No.
Why would a hoity-toity rich man be in a bad part of town? And if
he's a spy?
Right. But if he was recognizable in Old Town by his mother or whoever that was, perhaps people in Old Town might have seen him and know why he was around. Much easier than sneaking in to the manor house. You just give a few coin pieces to the poor people. I was one of them, I know. And they'll tell you pretty much anything you want to hear about. And we have plenty of coin.
Hey, Anders.
Yes.
Not wrong.
How many times has someone offered you coin for information and you made up things just to get that money?
It depends.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I know about the thing they're asking me, and I just tell them. Sometimes I don't know about the thing they're asking me, and I make up a story. But we have
How do
plenty
we
of...
separate the two?
Well, you don't. You just ask a bunch of people, and you hand them all a coin, and then you take all the notes back together, and you weed through it, and you figure it out. Or at least that's what I assume the other people that were doing it were doing it. Listen, I'm only recently a lawman. I don't know how it all works. I'm just saying it's probably very hard to break into a castle. It's probably very easy to give a few brass pennies to some poor folk. Plus, they need it more. And I don't like the idea of going to prison.
Yeah, I don't think you would do well there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Have you seen these pants? Freshly
I
loaded.
try not to.
You might take that the wrong way, Clementia. Be careful.
Yeah. Well, you know what I meant. Anyway.
I know what you meant.
What do you think?
Do we have a plan C?
Well, plan B was
We're
always...
not banging the lady.
Well, that's plan B.
Yeah, I believe in the past that was always plan B.
Although I believe you did offer that plan C would be that I sleep with their wife. But I've only slept with a priestess or a dozen. So
I don't think that was plan C.
I thought you said that. Maybe that was me. Maybe I thought that in my dreams.
I think maybe, yeah, that was possibly you.
Right. Okay. Maybe that was...
Anyway.
Okay. Right. Neither here nor there. So, a plan C.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly fancy the prospect of breaking in anywhere. I'm not particularly stealthy.
That's why we're not looking to do stealth. We're looking to simply dress like shit and pretend to be servants.
Okay. Well, I mean...
I think that's still breaking in, if I'm not...
But I'm not sure how many of us would get away with that. We were, not long ago, wandering the streets, shouting about being zombie hunters and dragging us...
One of us was screaming about it.
I mean, you were there.
Doesn't make it any true.
I mean, if just because you're there for something doesn't mean you did it, unfortunately, yes. The point remains that our anonymity with certain people might be compromised.
Clementia might get away with it, but I'm not sure any of the rest of us would.
I was about to ask Simon. Could I send them to go do the interviewee bit and use my alley cat ability to see if this idea of Galarians is possible? Because it's the castle's in the city, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I'd be able to sneak around pretty good.
What does alley cat do again?
I got it written down somewhere.
Well, she figures it out. It is true that when watching the castle, I really didn't see too many nobles going in and out, correct?
Nobody, actually. Doors were closed.
Oh, so like just no one, period, went in or out?
No, there were people around it, like the guards standing outside, so you know that at some point they have to be, replaced.
Mm-hmm. But they don't necessarily have to come from inside the castle. There's plenty of guard towers around.
They could come from the barracks or any.
But, I was watching the castle for pretty much 2 weeks, so
yeah.
Where did I see the guards come from? Because I'm sure I would have watched at least one guard change.
Yeah,
I should be pretty familiar with it.
Yeah, they did come out of the castle, some of them.
Okay.
And it's true, for 2 weeks, like you've seen a handful of people come in and out.
Okay, but yeah, it's been pretty limited compared to what one should expect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, all right, that's just what I wanted to make sure that I was understanding things correctly, because, if people were flowing in and out regularly, the fact that we had a member screaming undead hunters might be more of a problem than it would be with what's currently happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
If no one really comes in or out, how are you going to get in as a servant?
He said not too many people. He said there's, a few people going in and out, but not too many. So presumably there are servants that leave from time to time.
Well, then another possibility we could do is kidnap a servant, interrogate what the hell's going on in there if they know, find out what to expect if any of us do go in there dressed as servants, etc. Just a thought.
Still looking it up. I know I had to
We
do
could
it.
bribe them.
Or bribe them, yeah.
But anyways, back to Clementia's thing that she wanted to do.
Right. Yeah, it just means that I'm really good at sneaking around like alleyways and back streets. Stealthily, like nobody should be able to see me. And
Exactly.
if I fail, I can reverse it to a success.
Yeah.
So I will be successful, just not necessarily the best of successes.
Well, we'll see. You have fortune points and all that too.
Yeah.
So what are you interested in finding around this castle? A way in?
Yeah, the way in and what these servants would be wearing, if they're primarily female or male. Because some upper class establishments won't have any men servants, or vice versa, depending on who's in charge and their preference, So that kind of stuff.
Go right ahead. Make your stealth check. This is going to take a few hours. I assume the rest of the group reconvenes at the tavern, at the inn, or I don't know if there was a place you wanted to go.
Anders thinks he has a good idea, and he's gonna follow up with it.
Yeah, I think Clementia at this point would encourage them to go talk to people. She might even toss in a penny or two. How much money do I have?
One gold coin is worth how many pennies? Simon?
240.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to somewhere and convert a gold coin into pennies.
And when is silver into pennies?
Silver's 20.
Okay, she's gonna hand him a piece of silver.
Yeah, so I have like what, 250 brass pennies, something like that.
I'm going to check out that famous tower in Old Town.
Tower of Magnus.
Yes, while they're passing out pennies, that's what I'll do.
All right.
Gandalf, you gonna go pass out pennies in the entrance?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Strangely, Gandalf doesn't really have a plan for you.
It's weird.
There's no one to sleep with at the moment except the dead.
There's always someone to sleep with, Simon.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
I'm just on break at the moment.
You missed the part about getting stabbed in the back by syphilis.
Oh.
Did you miss it, or worth going back?
barely-
I mean, out of game, she missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in game, you were treated to Anders the doctor.
Oh.
And I discovered that everyone that was dead died of syphilis. And when you die of
Are you
syphilis,
excited?
the infected, the bits of you that touch the infected syphilis thing, those fall off. Or break. Or degenerate, in general.
So, I'll just do Clementia first and then the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Clementia, you stake the place out. Go around the castle a few times. Don't notice any guard change or even servants coming out of the castle. However, you do spot some of them walking, across or one of the windows. And they are dressed like your standard high-ranking servants.
Okay.
So, like, they have a uniform that was provided to them by the Lord of the Manor, by the Lord of Ubersreik. So it's like this puffy, for men anyway, it's a like puffy shirt with the shoulders puffing out, short sleeves, a beret, and you don't see what they wear, but you could assume that it's just hoses for the legs.
Mm-hmm.
The women are dressed similarly, except that they wear a like a blouse, I guess, under a Word apron. With probably similarly a dress, a skirt for the bottom part. And they have, what's it called? You know, the white sort of like bonnet that, that thing. But there's not a lot of them. You would expect there to be a lot more movement inside the castle. It's not a lot of movement. Now, as far as finding an entrance to the castle, you found several. It's not a fortified castle in the sense that there are no battlements around it. There are no walls. It's just one building, but it's got multiple entrances.
Okay.
Several side entrances or servant entrances lead out to alleyways. There's a trash chute, which is what comes out of a hole on like a second story wall, but you could scale it and enter through the trash chute. Just careful not to be under the chute when they throw the trash out,
Right.
because it's for everything.
Yeah.
The place it falls, the like alley that it falls in is disgusting and it stinks like hell. But it's also a place that the guards will never patrol because no one wants to approach that. Yeah. Otherwise, you could probably try to scale the walls of the castle and enter through a window. That, however, might be a lot harder than just scaling up to the trash chute. Yeah.
I have two schools of thought. I don't know if there would be any vendors nearby where I could buy an outfit similarly, or if I should try. I would assume either they live there or they have like a place where they get dressed, or both.
You could find, especially with your criminal contacts.
That's what I was thinking.
You can find someone. You can find someone. Even without a check. If it's just for one uniform, no need for a check. You can find someone that can sell you the outfit for about 5 silver.
Okay. Hey, look, I have 5 silver left. Well, I still have 7 gold, but all right. Yeah, let's buy the outfit because Clementia realizes that this shouldn't be a group mission. This should definitely be one person, because of how sparse everybody is.
My personal goal is get in the castle. Please let me in.
Well, that's the thing. You know that if you get the uniform, it might be easier for you to go up to the front door, open it, and let people in.
Okay. I'm gonna have her.
If only because it's also your party goal.
Yeah. I'm gonna head back to the.
Unless you don't want to have any XP.
I do. I'm gonna head back to the hotel area after I've got my outfit and figured out that this is like what I have to do. Right. See if I can find anybody. So.
Wearing the outfit will give you an extra success level, an extra degree of success. If you succeed on a check to pass off as a maid, you would actually get, like, as if you had rolled 10 lower than what your roll is.
Okay.
If you fail, you fail, but if you succeed better.
Okay,
because of it. Go with Galarian. Going into Old Town to look at the Horn of Magnus. So instead of asking questions, you just book it, beeline straight to the horn.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only thing that was like of note, you know, when we were following the direction of the undead. So I figured maybe there's something there.
It's an old historical monument. It's not protected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's guarded, but anybody's allowed to go up the stairs. You're not allowed to go all the way up and below the horn because
that'd be obnoxious.
Very obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few corpses of people hanging from the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And the tour guide here can tell you that these were the people that tried to touch the horn.
I see. And I'm going to use second sight to see if I see any indication of anything around here.
Make a perception check.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Do I get any bonuses for acute senses at all?
Yeah, your acute senses. What does it do again? It gives you something for.
It doesn't have a defined mechanical benefit. It just says it's so tiny on this character sheet when I expand
it's
it.
okay. I have it. I have it here. Acute senses.
Okay.
You may take perception checks to detect normally imperceptible details with the associated sense. Oh, okay. Wow, you can really look where they're taking the hobbits.
Mm-hmm. Seeing
Then-
an eagle beyond everyone else's eye shot, and they give a bunch of like examples.
Yeah. I'd say give yourself a plus 20.
Cool.
Because it's something that, from your point of view, would be very hard to find, but because of your exceptional senses.
I will use a fortune point to try and reroll that.
Mm-hmm.
Perception again, plus 20. I see nothing.
You can burn a fate point to succeed. But you burn it permanently.
I know. Yes, I'll do it.
Whoa. How many fate points do you have left?
0. Yeah.
You remember
Yep.
that spell that you saw on the corpse? The like timed dar. There's like a conflux of all the winds of magic in the horn. Like, picture a horn.
Mm-hmm.
In the center of the bigger opening. There's like all these colors just fused together, and whatever spell is in the making, you recognize this as being a ritual. Clearly a black magic ritual for the color of, since it attracts every color of magic and thus turns into black magic. It is in the making.
And it's gathering on the horn specifically?
It's gathering on the horn. Now, remember, the horn and the tour guide next to you is obnoxious enough to repeat these information over and over again. The horn can be heard all over the city.
Mm-hmm.
It is so loud that it said that it can even wake the dead.
Yeah. How many guards are there around this tower?
About 6.
All right. And so the tour guide, did they take us into the tower or just walking around it?
No. You went in the tower. There's 4 floors that you're allowed to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a staircase, and it's not even a staircase, it's an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
A very primitive engineered, well, for them it's a like engineering marvel, but it's an elevator that takes you all the way up to the top. And the first 5 floors, there's the first one is sort of a tavern spot where people can gather, create, the tour guides are there to ask people if they want to go on a tour or blah, blah, blah. It's just like public space. Second floor is the rest area for the guards. So those that aren't on duty will spend their time there. Third is the barracks for the guards that work for the Horn of Magnus. It's a special unit. They're not part of they're not part of the Uberstrike military, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the floor right above them, which is the armory.
Gotcha.
And then after that, you take elevator all the way to the top.
Okay, is there there's like a lot of noise going on, and the direction is mostly focused on the tour guide and the majority of the group, correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and slip away from the rest of the tour group and kind of like hunch myself over to make myself,
smaller.
It's like I know I can't like, suddenly shrink per se, but at the same time look less less elfy. Cover my ears with my hair a little bit. Just trying to blend in a little bit, and I'm gonna try and get to this. How loud is this elevator? Do I think is going to be
loud? Picture a portcullis opening and closing.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have about the same sound. It's lifted with chains and it's heavy wood. As a wizard, though, I figure that you're trying to get closer because you want to dispel.
I want to push the horn off the roof.
The horn, if you remember how big it is the bigger opening is about 50 feet wide.
Okay, I want to dispel the spell, like somehow disrupt.
Find a way to. Well, blowing the horn would exacerbate everything because you would blow the wind out into the open.
I mean, if anything, I'm going to put a cork in it to try and keep.
Otherwise, a good way of dispelling a ritual, especially one that is in the making, is to shut the wizard who's casting it.
Yeah, but I want to stall it until I can get to the wizard.
That you would know it to be impossible.
All right.
It's not that it's completely impossible, but you would need to know exactly what the ritual requires.
I assumed it was the winds going through the horn is what was going to activate the horn. So I figured if I can, maybe block the mouthpiece a little bit and jam it up, maybe that would disrupt things.
The way things work is right now, from what you can see, the winds going into the horn is not the end goal of the ritual.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, the end goal is wake up the undead.
Yeah, it's probably going to just be used as a sort of megaphone to cast a spell over a greater range.
Hence why I was thinking like it would be like the winds blowing through the mouthpiece and making a bunch of noise that would activate the ritual.
But the wizard casting the spell will need to blow the horn.
Okay. Then
that's something that you would know. If you wanted to, you could wait it out.
No, I will.
Last moment and get the jump on the wizard when they get to the tower.
I'm pretty sure I know where this wizard is, so
I'm pretty sure too. But that's one thing you would know. In the meantime,
yeah, I'm going to meet up with the group.
Dispelling the spell.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what because sometimes a ritual would require, for example, you have to cast the ritual over and over every night at midnight. And it takes over a week. If you skip a day, the spell fizzles.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing this, you would know how to dispel it by just preventing someone from doing their part at midnight.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's a spell you've never seen before.
Yeah, so I don't know what the thing is. So I'm presumably this guy's going to have to get up when the guards aren't as active, so I would assume if he's going to do anything, it's going to be at night. So I'm going to focus my attention I'm going to focus my energies on getting into the castle. So that's my thing for now.
Okay. And then the interviewers.
Yes.
Indeed. So I have almost just shy of 300 brass pennies. That I'm going to give out, like a reverse luck fountain, and the skill gossip. I'm pretty good with that. Can I do that?
Why, yes, you can.
Great. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what exactly I would say. So while I roll that, I will figure that out. Does the coin help in that at all?
For every 10 coins that you give, you can give yourself one coin for 1%. Let's do it that way.
Like the bonus to your gossip roll.
Yeah.
1 coin for 1%.
Yeah.
So 10 coins would be plus 10.
Exactly.
So if you give away 100 coins plus 100,
Yep.
Cool. So like, let's
so
do-
many success levels.
Let's go ahead and do this.
Ugh. 335% chance of succeeding. You learn 20 different rules.
Did I
So
break it?
what I'll do is we'll filter out all the noise
Yeah.
with
So,
such a roll and give.
you ever see like in Assassin's Creed when he's getting chased down, he just throws gold coins and everyone scatters and it stumps everybody. Basically, that's what's happening. I'm just sort of like I'm not even because Gale made a good point, and that was how many times people lie. So I'm just throwing coins. Like, I have 25 gold coins now. I'm loaded. So I'm just throwing these peasant pennies. Scoff. Right? He's just chucking pennies into the gutters because he's way above pennies. He doesn't need those anymore.
Anders, you have to actually ask them questions as well.
No, I know. I'm getting to that point. I just.
Well,
listen,
I'd ask them. I'd ask the questions before you throw the money.
Well, see,
Otherwise,
the
people just
trick is
take the money and run away.
The trick is if you throw the money first, what happens is
They take the money and run away.
well,
Yeah.
they take the money. But then
Look, that guy just ran away.
That's because you're talking to me right now, and I didn't get to say the part I was going to say. Hold on, let me try to.
Well, who's gonna
And
hang around?
He throws on a handful of pennies.
Stop throwing your money out.
Listen, if you're taking the pennies, I will give you more pennies if you answer me questions. See this? Stop! You're distracting me.
There's a man in the crowd that like pops his head out of like the mass of peasants just scraping for coin, and he says, "You mentioned something about more pennies."
Yeah, I have plenty of. I have so many pennies for you. If you just, I have some questions and some ideas that I have that are swimming around in my head, and I'd like to discuss them with as many people as possible. If you could just get the whole crowd of you just right around, would be good.
Hey, everyone, that guy's loaded.
Hello,
You're getting mugged.
I'm a river warden.
Oh shit!
Yep, there's a crowd of about 30 people, desperate, hungry, and barely clothed.
Yeah.
Some of them have blackjacks with them. Some of them have nothing but walking sticks.
Yep.
Some are already cracking their knuckles.
Yep. And he has his handful of a purse full of coins. Not ignorant to the situation he's in, having been there recently, and he's throwing out the coins. And he says, "Now, I'm an official river warden, and I'm here to lay down." That's not true. I'm not actually laying down any kind of law here. I'm here to ask questions because I'm also an official undead hunter. And the rumors that I have going around town right now is that the entire town, not just the outside but the inside as well, is infested with somewhere between 2 and 25 zombies brought together by mom's dust, and my friend who's a wizard has absolutely confirmed this is possibly true, and I believe the source of the undead is coming from here in Old Town, and I believe that somebody else knows that as well, and so there may be a cleansing of Old Town, and I'm here to try to stop that. And he's throwing coins like birdseed to pigeons.
I should have gone with Clementia and got arrested. It'd been so fair.
Gangrel, this plan's absolutely going to work.
We're going to get killed.
Gangrel, when have I had a plan that didn't work?
Every single time you've had a plan.
It's worked every time. Not exactly the way we thought it was, but it worked every time.
Okay.
You feel the cold
Grip of death. At
your
your
The cold
stabbed.
grip of death.
The coldness of
stabbed by
steel pressed on your throat. And a whisper in both of your ears, Gangolf and Enders, because I'll assume you're standing like side by side.
Yes, I had backed off very slightly, but yes.
A voice says, "Now you shut up and you follow me if you want to live."
All right, we have a winner. Good day, everybody. Remember, watch out for the undead.
An old guy, probably in his 80s, cloaked in black,
You're a mighty dark lad.
brings you to an alley, and he sheathes his dagger. And you notice that despite his advanced age, he seems to be quite agile.
Quite quick for an old man.
Says, "Undead hunter,
Yes, officially. I actually have if you're not going to stab me, I actually have a letter that says I'm an undead hunter. If you'd like to see that.
Tell me,
Yes.
both of you, are you pious souls?"
Shite.
And
So next week, Mike and Sheep are gonna make new characters.
I feel like this is a trick question, and I don't know the answer to it. I'm not good at puzzles.
Yes, I'm pious. All praise, all gods. Whichever, who do you worship? Praise your gods.
I don't like Moore very well, but the rest of them are all right, especially Shyla. That one's Shelia? That one.
Shalalay.
yeah.
Shallelay. That one. That's my favorite.
Undead Hunter's Eye. You're looking into something much too dangerous for one such as undisciplined as you.
Right.
But if you want to die, I can't stop you.
I prefer not to, if we're being honest.
You want to know what's happening?
I feel like yes is the correct answer, I believe.
Almost all my life.
Whole deeper level of Gandalf.
the old man looks at Gandalf and says, I can't help you with that. Look to the castle.
But we already know that one.
I look at the castle.
But
Pay attention.
We already know we have a wizard who says it's windy.
Then you're a bit more prepared than I thought.
See? Not just any old undead hunters. We're undead hunters with a wizard.
God damn it.
Tell me, son. Have you ever seen true fear in the eyes of a man?
I saw true fear in the eyes of a woman once. She was attacked by zombies and we had to kill them. She was terrified.
Then go look at the guards. Go look at the servants.
At the castle, not just around the town.
The folks here won't tell you anything because you just threw all of your money away.
Shite.
You should have been a bit more careful. Also, don't walk in Old Town with a purse full of coin without an escort.
Now that's what I had to Gandalf here for. I saw him
I was unaware of the plan when we started it, so
one time. He killed a zombie.
really,
With
I would have stopped that if I'd have known this is where this was going.
One time I saw him kill a zombie with a piece of wood.
I did do that, to be fair. There weren't 30 zombies with anger and hunger surrounding us.
They were angry and hungry, I do believe.
Well, then maybe you can defend yourselves after all.
Listen, a creepy old man in the dark cloak in the alley. I don't know your name, and I feel like if I ask you, you're not going to give it to me. But you do have a lot of answers for a lot of questions I didn't ask yet. But there was a man who was wandering around these parts of town just maybe a few days ago that possibly is maybe dead right now and might be believed to not be in the town and might have been murdered outside of the town.
My brother.
Shite. Are you kidding me? Okay, that doesn't help
And
at all.
not kin. Kin.
Okay, great. Because I talked to his kin, and they weren't helpful at all. They told me he might be in Old Town. Was he here? Was he killed inside the town?
He never made it.
To the town?
Well, I mean, we were supposed to meet, exchange information, but that's neither here nor there. That's my business.
No, but that's literally here or there. That's what we're trying to solve. We're trying to solve that guy's murder. Or...
You've got to, take his sentences and work them into your head to figure out what he's saying sometimes.
It's like working with a fish. You got to slap it around first before you can
right.
cook it in the frying pan. Regardless,
That's not how you cook a fish. I'm not even a cook, and I know that.
He was killed, and then several other people were killed around his death, and we're trying to figure out who did the killing. Really, is where it all comes down to.
The old man scratches his head in confusion, and he says, "Okay, wait. There's many things happening, all at once.
Right.
And it's too much for my old mind.
Yes.
You...
Right. And him. And
you are going to buy me a drink.
All right.
And go through the whole story again.
Got it.
All right, I think I can help.
Perfect. That's the best news I've had all day. Oh.
Because, you got 20 successes, so you're going to get the guy that knows everything.
Yeah.
I saw 4 people with syphilis today, and this is the best news I've had all day.
All right, so we're gonna cut to the inn with the rest of the group gathered around the table. The old man nursing a drink.
Is this the guy that gave me the...
It is. He recognizes you.
And Clementia would recognize him. Okay, that's what I thought.
He just gives you like a quick nod,
And
almost imperceptible.
Yeah, Clementia would give exactly just that back.
And then you can fire all of your questions away. And what I'll do is, because I know we're nearing the end of the show, we started a bit late, so we'll go through the scene, but I'll paraphrase the answers. So ask me your questions. I'll give you the information that he has. And then we can go from there next week. Huh?
I feel like Anders asks a lot of questions that need to be clarified and re-asked, so I will let everyone else ask questions and will assume that they were first said by Anders, and then everyone shook their head and, and reworded all of them.
All right.
Can we trade 20 answers for access to the castle before the end of this session?
Nope. Nope.
Oh.
No, but you can trade 20 successes for knowing the source.
That works.
So what do you want to know?
Up to you guys.
I want to know the source. I mean, we know the ritual. We know where they're hiding. We know a lot of stuff. We just don't know for sure who did it.
So he suspects there's a necromancer inside the castle. And his theory is, especially, okay, first, he is called a brother of the cloak. There are many of them. They work with the witch hunters. His task was to just wait in Reik for the other kid to arrive, relieve him of his duties, and he would retire, the old man. Unfortunately, that never happened. They're normally the people that will gossip and get information on like chaos cults, witches, necromancers, what have you, and feed that information to the church. And then have, they sick their inquisitors on those people after. So he knows the town and he knows the comings and goings of people, and he believes that your necromancer is Bernard Auer. But Bernard came to Reik a few times before, and he was not, or did not act as like a necromancer. Now, given the old man doesn't know how to see magic like you, Galarian, but it's the only new person that came in recently, right before, not right before the murders, but he came and the wave of zombies and the reports of undead followed after him. And the moment he went to take residence in the castle, suddenly the mayor is always busy, doesn't have time for anyone, and, throws out anyone who tries to have an audience with them, keeps only a handful of guards and servants. Everyone else was fired. And the guards, if you take the time to... And now that he says it, Galarian, you kind of get an idea. You would have had to talk to the guards, but they are scared shitless.
Oh, they're scared shitless. Okay.
Yeah, if they were corpses, you would have known because of the magic.
True.
So someone is threatening them very efficiently. And they keep the door closed. He knows of a few ways in: sewers, trash chute, the stuff that you already know. Yes.
And, this letter, that's not actually from Graf von Brunner. Do you know who wrote it?
Part of the 20 successes? Our.
Why would he bring a white wizard into town if he's the necromancer?
because white wizards are actual undead hunters, and it's the only one in the region. If you get rid of him, you get rid of anyone that could stand up to you. The old man works for a witch hunter called Ulf. ULF. But Ulf is in Schrakrof, or wherever, which is the person he needed you to deliver the bullets to.
Right.
He's too far away, and with the gates being closed and the zombies outside, the old man cannot go out and get him. Plus, it would take days to get there, like over a week, there and back. So right now, with no possibility, because the only messenger that Ulf had was the young cousin from the rich family, him being murdered, the white wizard being murdered, no one's there to oppose anyone in Ubersreik. Now, what the old man doesn't know is why did Graf von Bruners decide to send a necromancer to Ubersreik? There's nothing to gain. He's been trying to woo the city into joining his barony. All of a sudden, he would throw it all away. Doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how many of you are in this city? Is it just you?
It's just him.
The horn in the tower, it's a focal point for a ritual to wake the dead.
The horn is sacred.
Not anymore.
Oh. Sigmar willing, the horn will hold whatever thing this wizard is trying to do.
The only way to stop that from happening would be to either kill the wizard or to keep the wizard from continuing the ritual before he activates it. I don't know how much longer it needs to prep, but if the preparation is interrupted before it's complete, he would have to start over at the very least.
Then the old man will say that he's never seen anyone crawl up to the tower at night.
And what about the guards?
The 6 guards that are there, there's 12 of them in all. And the only other place that they go, there's the barracks, which you've seen when you were visiting the place. And otherwise, they would go to the main, like the town barracks near the Gardens of Moor.
Yes, and what if one of the guards who lives in the barrack that's right under the tower, they would be able to sneak up without you noticing, correct?
Yep.
What if it's one of them?
A necromancer?
Maybe.
You'd be surprised. Working for one? Perhaps. They don't strike them. The guards don't strike him as being the intelligent kind.
No, I don't think the guard themselves is the culprit, but involved, possibly.
Well, he knows the ins and outs of the city. I can help.
It just if you could ensure that no one touches that horn until we can get in and out of the castle and deal with the necromancer.
I'm not much of a fighter. I can keep tabs on people. I can get you in the tower. What I could... He looks at Anders. How many coins you got?
Not a lot, really. Just I spent most of them today, if we're being honest. How many do you need?
Well, if we want to bribe the guards, I'll need about 10 gold.
Oh, I don't have that at all. I definitely don't have that.
Conventia doesn't even have that. She has 5, 6.
He says, then in that case, I can... Look, you strike me as the only capable source in here. I'll do what I can. I can't guarantee anything, but the sooner you can... If you are undead hunters, as you say, and you do the Sigmar's holy work on this earth, then by all means get into the castle and fix whatever needs fixing. I'll try to hold them back. I don't know. I'll find a way.
If with this kind of ritual, this kind of power, it has to be done at the exact same time every single day. You don't have to sacrifice your life to keep him from doing anything at all. You just have to stall him for a few minutes for
it's
an
just
hour.
I'd be trespassing, and you know what they do to people that go up to the horn.
Yes, I am. My point more is that it might not be as hard to forestall the ritual as you might think. If the wizard was sneaking in and up the tower, if it isn't a guard, if it's someone they're letting in, if you delayed them by even 10 minutes, it could crumple the whole thing.
All right, then. Well, good luck to you four.
I just have one more question before
Yep.
before you go. Now you said there's only one of you in the city, right? Just the one?
Yes.
Brother of the cloak, I think you said it was.
Yep.
Now I'm recently a river warden, and we're all very recently undead hunters. And as you said, you weren't aware that there was any kind of organization such as undead hunters besides the White Wizards, and you knew about the other hunters, the witch ones. That's right, the witch hunters. Yep. Now, how does one become a brother of the cloak? Just so I know, in case.
Well, you start off by having faith enders.
Right, but that's a subjective term, right?
No.
I suggest you talk to Ulf.
I have faith in Gengo's ability to kill a zombie with a piece of wood.
Talk to Ulf. I can't recruit.
Right, it's a damn shame. Well, I hope you, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, I hope you live long enough to retire. You seem like you've been at it for a good old length of time, and you had said you were about to retire, and I hope for sure you get there.
I just hope that I can help the Empire and Sigmar until my last breath. And with that, he gets up. The sun sets on Reik, and we're gonna end the game there.
It seems like she's old for this shit.
Oh, we know how to get into the castle. Can we end it us getting in the castle?
No, but you can go ahead and mark your because you guys will get in the castle within the first 15 minutes of the next episode probably. So it doesn't make sense to keep it up to then.
Oh,
I'll be right back.
Perfect, guys. That was it. That was that. We did stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Awesome. Let's go around, do our introductions here, and then go raid somebody. We'll start with the magnificently bearded sheepdog. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to, man?
Hello, I am Sheepdog, and if you want to find me on the internet, you have to wait for me to wake up after 3 alarms and 3 hours. Jesus.
We literally went to Fook. We were like, "Hey, Fook, can you go wake up sheep in whatever way you have possible?" And she's like, "Yeah, I got it." Like, okay, cool.
Nope,
Yeah.
he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had my computer alarm going off, my phone alarm going off. I woke up, they're all blaring.
That's fucking funny.
Been going on for 3 hours.
She said it was her fault, so we're just gonna blame her. So you're fine.
It was, yes.
But let's jump right over to Cherry. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I'm Cherry the Bomb. Getting back into GTA roleplay right now. My character just bought a strip club, so there's a lot going on. Come on by. I'll be doing that tomorrow. And the strip club auditions are on in 3 days. So come, that'll be a thing. I'm terrified to see what the community is going to come up with. So come on by. You can find me there. Twitter at cherrypopmom7.
Now, you know, when you were growing up and people were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Did you ever think you'd have to say, the strip club auditions will be the strip club auditions will be next Tuesday? Never a thing you thought you'd have to say, huh?
Yeah, you know, the last few years I might have said sure. Growing up, no.
Welcome to Twitch. With that, we'll jump over to Justin. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Justin, or Tweeter Vecna, and I work with Mage Hand Press, and we produce cool content for 5th edition. You can find us at magehandpress.com. You can find our stuff on DriveThruRPG, and for a whole $3 a month, you can get access to all our books except for our most recent Dark Matter on our Patreon account, which is super great value. I highly recommend it.
Hell yeah. You guys can also get some sweet Mage Hand Press swag by coming to the next 12-hour charity stream for unMadeGaming. It is February 23rd. We do a 12-hour charity streamathon, and all proceeds go to Extra Life, charity for sick kids. Last year we raised over $10,000. This time we're trying to get even higher than that. So mark your calendars. February 23rd will be that. It's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you guys would like to come and hang out and play in a post-apocalyptic West Marches style game, you can do that. We launched it last week, and it is Mutant Year Zero. Super good time. And it is for our patrons and our subs, exclusive for that. There's a little role-playing in the Discord. There's a whole big thing. Big community building, world-building stuff. Simon has wandered away, as the Wandering DM is wont to do. But if you guys want to check out Simon and all his illustrious game mastering, please check him out at the Wandering DM on Twitter and on Twitch. He does a bunch of games on his channel, a bunch more on other people's channels, and yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have any more announcements to go through. I think I kind of nailed it. So yeah, let's get out of here. Let's go raid our friends over at let's see, Legend Lore. Is that who that is? That's what they're doing. Yeah, let's go raid the Greyhawk channel. They're doing some Legend Lore, talking about some tabletop goodness. Yeah, let's give them a little raid. Click that button, do that thing, and boom. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye.